In order to achieve a lot in this life, we have to do this thing that we need to do for a very long period of time. In other words, we need to be consistent. No matter what this is, starting a business, working out, studying, making a YouTube channel, etc., etc. Consistency is the key to long-term results. People who are able to be consistent, we call them disciplined. You know, that no matter what, they get up and do the thing that they need to do. However, many people actually struggle to be consistent. And one of those people was me. When I was growing up, I didn't really think about myself as a very disciplined person. I had pretty bad grades at school, I couldn't make myself to study. You know, back in the days, things that I was interested in were only video games and hanging out with friends playing soccer.
Старые добрые времена за ногу.
But then it all has changed when in 2018, I decided to learn English. I decided to learn it very quickly, so I was studying for 8 hours every day. I was waking up, studying grammar, then learning new words, then practicing my auditioning skills, and then speaking. The same thing, rinse and repeat, every single day. And in 1 year, I actually got amazing results. And back in the day when I was learning English, I actually had this notebook when I was writing and practicing grammar. And as you can see here, I completely filled it in from cover to cover with all of the different exercises and drills. You know, it actually was a pretty big project. You know, this notebook took me maybe 7 or 8 months to completely fill it in. And you know, once I learned English so quickly, people actually started asking myself how I did it. And then I was showing them this book, you know, I was showing them and telling, hey, this is how I did it, you know, like it really works. And people were amazed and people were calling me disciplined. However, I knew that that's not true because I was not disciplined. How I knew that I was not disciplined? Because in other areas of my life, I still struggled with discipline. You know, for instance, it was very hard for me to work out. You know, I couldn't really sustain motivation to work out for a very long period of time. Or one time I decided to, you know, start eating healthier. And again, I failed because I couldn't make myself to stop eating sugar. And what I realized that when I was learning English, I was not actually disciplined. I was consistent. And in other areas of my life, I simply struggled with consistency. You know, when I was learning English, I had an environment that helped me to be consistent. And when I was doing other things, there were reasons why I struggled with consistency. And once I realized it, it hit me that I do not have to be disciplined. I just have to find the way how to maintain consistency. And I was looking at everything that I was not consistent in. I was trying to find ways how to be more consistent and I was troubleshooting it. And maybe in your case, that's the same thing, that you have the thing that you need to do and you struggle to be consistent doing it. However, it's not like you're not disciplined. It's just that something that actually makes it hard for you to stay consistent. And in this video, we will talk about 3 reasons why it might hard be for you to stay consistent and how to fix it so you'll actually be more consistent or quote unquote more disciplined. By the way, if you're new here, then welcome to my channel. My name is Akira and I see life as a game, and in this channel we talk about how to play it. So without further ado, let's go. The first reason why it might be hard for you to stay consistent is that you just simply hate this process. Imagine this. You decided that it's time to get in shape. And for this, you first of all need to start doing some exercises and start eating cleaner. And for doing exercises, you pick the gym. However, the problem is that you actually hate going to the gym. You hate this gym atmosphere, this music, people around you. You hate doing those exercises, lifting weights, etc., etc. However, you still have this goal in mind and you make yourself to do that. You make yourself go into this gym. You go it for 1 week, for 2 weeks, for 3 weeks. After some time, motivation wears out. You still do not see any result because usually it takes more time to see results. And you simply quit by telling yourself that they're not disciplined. And you admire those people who go to the gym every single day. The problem is, I'm not talking of course about everyone, but many of those people actually like going to the gym. And that's why if you think about that they're disciplined and you're not disciplined, however, it's not actually a very accurate comparison. Because on one hand, you know, you make yourself every single time to go to the place that you really hate. And on the other hand, they go to the gym every single time and they like this process. The same thing might be with diet, that the food that you eat is very bland and you know, you just cannot eat it. It just tastes awful. Or maybe studying, you know that you need to study, but lectures are so boring that it's basically impossible to endure those 90 minutes. So the first thing that you can do in order to be more consistent is find the way to do the thing that you need to do in a way that you really enjoy. So for instance, if we're talking about getting in shape and physical exercises, find the way of physical activity that you really like. It doesn't have to be gym. It can be yoga, qigong, swimming, walking, dancing, playing soccer, etc., etc., like anything that is available in the world. I'm pretty sure that one of those activities that you really like. So it will be way easier for you to be more consistent and, again, quote unquote, disciplined if you really do the thing that you enjoy. In my example, when I was learning English, it's one thing studying English using old, boring grammar textbooks or watching English with Lucy.
Hello, lovely students, and welcome back to English with Lucy.
So think about your situation. Maybe the reason why you're not consistent is that, you do the thing that you need to do and you do not like it. And the solution for you will be very simple, that you just need to find what you like and do it instead. Reason number 2, why it might be hard for you to stay consistent, is that it's hard for you to do the same thing consistently. And let me explain it on my personal example. Some time ago, I decided to start fixing my diet. I decided, enough is enough. I do not want to have a lot of red pimples on my face. I have to start fixing my diet right away. And I created a meal plan and I made sure that I enjoyed everything, on this meal plan. That food that I was going to eat was actually really good. However, once I actually started preparing those meals actually took me a lot of time to make. It could take me something like 40 or 50 minutes to make lunch. And the problem was that I was working, a lot and very, very hard. And I simply didn't really have enough time to prepare those meals for myself. So I all ended up, going back to my bad habits. That you're working, then you do not have time really for lunch. You just go, open your app, find this delivery app, order food, it's usually some trash like McDonald's, right? Or some other junk food. You keep working, the delivery comes, you eat this food, and you start working again. And you're effortlessly back to your junk food and bad habit. And again, the problem here was that I was not disciplined. It was really hard for me to spend 50 minutes making lunch every single day. I needed to troubleshoot my consistency. I need to find a way how I can eat healthy food, but also do not spend a lot of time making it. And I found it. First of all, I changed a little bit my meal plan. So now the food that I eat is actually very easy to make. It takes maybe, 10 or 50 minutes to prepare the food. And if we're talking about things that actually take a lot of time, so for instance, cooking meat or things like that, I actually started meal prepping. Now, 2 days a week, I spend some time into preparing some of my meals. So when it's time to eat lunch, all I need to do, I just need to go, open the fridge, heat up this food in the microwave oven, and it's ready. This can be the case also in your situation. That you have this thing that you need to do. However, it's actually very hard for you to do it on the day-to-day basis. And the solution here will be not to blame yourself saying that you're not disciplined, but to find the way how to do this thing easier. Just imagine that you have to go to the gym and the gym is not 5 minutes from you, but 45 minutes from you. My gym actually is closer to me than the supermarket. If the closest gym where for me, 60 minutes from here, I really doubt that I would go there 3 times a week. So if you struggle with going to the gym because the gym is too far away, you can actually maybe exercise at home. Because it's very simple. You do not have to go anywhere. You just go, buy some dumbbells and you can start exercising whatever you want. Maybe you decided to start making videos on YouTube and you decided, what? I will be uploading videos every single week, but you do not have enough time in a week that you can devote into making videos. So think about your situation. Maybe it's hard for you to stay consistent because it's actually very hard for you to do this thing on a day-to-day basis. And find what you can fix, what you can optimize, what things you can do, what changes you can implement, so it will be easier for you to do this thing. The reason number 3 why it might hard be for you to stay consistent is that you started too aggressively. Usually, when people decide to improve their lives, they actually do that from the negative motivation. There's like something in them that they're not happy about. For instance, they look at the mirror and they see that they're actually overweight and they're like, what? Enough is enough. From tomorrow, I am making a radical change in my life. I will start going to the gym. I will eat clean, starting from tomorrow. And before that, they were not going to the gym at all. And now they're working out every day for 60 minutes. Before that, they were eating lots of junk food. Now their diet is super strict and super clean. And what happens, they have this radical change in their lives. And again, they have this negative motivation inside them. Week goes by, 2 weeks go by, 3 weeks go by. This negative motivation wears out. They do not see any, progress because it's actually hard to see the progress in 3 weeks. And they simply quit, telling themselves, I'm not disciplined, I'm not worthy, I will be like that forever. It's just, I'm just simply not wired for that. Wrong. The problem here is that those people had to start slowly. Look, when you decide to incorporate some changes in your life, for body, it's a little bit of a stress. And if you actually add a very, very big change to your life, for body, it's a lot of stress. And your body needs time to adapt. So first of all, if you want to actually introduce some changes, you need to introduce those changes to your life gradually. So again, for instance, if you want to start going to the gym, instead of going 60 minutes every single day, start going 3 times a week, by 10 minutes each. Just go there, exercise for 10 minutes, and good. You're the champion, Do that for 1 week. The next week, do 15 minutes. The next week, do 20 minutes. The next week, do 25. In a month, you will be making, 25 minutes workouts. In 2 months, you will have 50-minute workouts. Yes, maybe in the beginning, going to the gym for 10 minutes sounds like nothing and waste of time. But in 2 weeks, you will make way more progress than 90% of people who just start going, for 60 minutes in a day and then quit 3 weeks later. Your body needs time to adapt to those changes. Because if you just start right away very aggressively, again, the problem number 2, it's hard for you to do this thing consistently. This was in my example as well. When I was learning English and filling this notebook, by the time when I was finished this notebook, I was writing like 4 pages a day, really. But once I started, I was writing only for 1 page a day. And I would never finish a book like that. If in the beginning, I told myself, hell, today I do 4 pages, tomorrow I do 4 pages, next day I also do 4 pages, and if I write 3 pages, then I'm lazy, not disciplined, not worthy, and will never finish this task. No. I started gradually. And I started only with 1 page a week. And then after some time I realized, what? I can actually do more. I can do 2 pages a day. And I started writing 2 pages a day. Then after some time, maybe after a month, I realized, well, what? I can actually do 3. The same thing, by the way, was with learning words. Then I started learning maybe 5 words a day. Then I decided, I can do 7, I can do 10, I can do 15. And there were actually days when I was learning 20 words a day. But again, I started slowly. So maybe the reason why you failed with your consistency is that you really started too aggressively. And you need to start doing this thing again, but in a very smaller amount. So for instance, you decided, that you will start reading books, and you decided, what, I'll be reading 50 pages a day. And maybe right now it's actually very hard for you to read 50 pages a day because, you're just used to watch TikTok and books are pretty boring. Start with 10 pages a day because 10 pages a day is still way better than 0. And then after some time, your body will adapt, will find the book that you like, and then one day you'll say, what, I actually read 10 pages today. How about 15? You'll start reading 15, and then you will start reading 20, 25, 30, 35. And boom, you're reading 50 pages a day. But you did this slowly, not in a radical way, not pushing yourself and making yourself to do that. So of course, those are not all of the reasons why you struggle with consistency. And of course, we cannot actually cover them all in one video, but I want you guys to think about your situation and think about your situation not from the lens that you're disciplined or not disciplined. Maybe the thing that you need to do, it's actually very hard for you to stay consistent. And ask yourself why. Start troubleshooting this consistency. Find the reason why you're not consistent, fix it, and you will be able to be more consistent. And people will be telling you that you're a very disciplined person, when in reality, you're not. So, this is it for today. If this video was useful to you, then hit the like and subscribe to my channel so you'll not miss any uploads. And I'll see you next time in my next videos. Успехов!